my Google Calendar does.
It could be. I mean, Google Calendar, of course, is integrated into a lot of different parts. So so it's so there could be something that's
Google Calendar does.
Yeah, there's something broken in there that when it could be. I mean, Google Calendar, of course, is integrated into a lot of different parts.
Oh, hold on.
So
Hold on. There we go.
So yeah, could be. We are broadcast. Sorry, I've got to do. I had to do a bunch of things in the background here. It's Chris has Jim. Jim is always doing all this in the background. Chris can sit and talk. So there's really is. Where's Jim? Is Jim around? Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is over there. Hi, Jim. You'll see what I'm going through. Yes.
Murray has his hand up.
Murray, go ahead.
Okay, I have a couple of comments. First of all, I also found that this was quite a while ago when I tried it. The DuckDuckGo was didn't work very well for me, so I just took it off again. But the interesting problem I had yesterday, I deleted several folders. Okay, now I didn't think I deleted one particular one, but I deleted a whole bunch. And anyway, after I'd done that, I tried to access one that I did not think I deleted, and I couldn't get to it. It was gone. Okay, maybe I accidentally deleted it. So I hadn't done anything to that drive. So I thought, okay, well, I should be able to recover it. So first of all, I tried FR, whatever it is, the Windows file recovery program. It couldn't find it. Then I used the one that at the question and answer period, if there's a bit of time, I'll show you a couple of screenshots of it. But I used Puron file recovery, which has been pretty good. And I could not find that file. I can find all the other files that I deliberately deleted and folders that I deliberately deleted yesterday, but I cannot find the one that I did not deliberately delete. I don't know whether it just disappeared on its own.
Did you look in the recycle bin?
Oh, I deleted permanently. But all the other files that I deleted permanently are can be recovered. In fact,
Murray, a suggestion.
Yeah.
Look inside the folders that you deleted. It may have somehow gotten into one of those.
I looked in all of them and I searched everywhere.
Okay.
I searched on all the other hard drives that I even, in case I accidentally moved it somewhere else. But the thing is that for file recovery, I can find all those files that I deliberately deleted yesterday. Plus I can find files that I deleted up to several months ago. So it just doesn't seem to be there. And I don't even know for sure that I actually deleted it or it just disappeared on its own. But anyway,
do you know some of the files that are in that folder?
Oh yeah, none of them are there anywhere.
Do you have everything on your computer? The program, everything that I've demonstrated?
Oh no, I don't.
If you did, you might search for it. It may have somehow, instead of deleted, you might have just dragged it and stuck it in a folder somewhere else on your computer. And it may still even be on your computer.
Of course, I did do a search on all the drives for a couple of the files that were in that folder, and they're not anywhere.
It's not in your backup?
Well, I don't. These are very big video and photographic files that I do not back up because I'm working on them and then I delete them after I've finished working on them. So it's like it's work in progress and they're so big, it just would take too long. I can recover all of these files a different way, but it's work. And I couldn't understand why they cannot be recovered by the recovery software that recovers absolutely everything else.
I think we should cover this at the end when we do the.
That's what I said.
That's
what I said I would do. But I just thought I'd give some advance. Maybe people could think about it a bit. Thank you.
Hey, Ron, I got a question. You may have noticed I just dropped off.
Yep, you did.
I had to come back on. which is no problem, except for after you lock the meeting. If something happens and I drop off, how do I get back on?
Excuse me.
Chris,
Well, the secret, which I wasn't going to tell anybody, because I want everybody in here before 9 o'clock, but we don't lock it anymore.
Okay.
Problem still exists when we reach 100.
Yeah, the
Right.
problem is when we
There's
reach
no way-
100. Yeah.
Right, there's no way we can let you back in if you jump out at that point until we go below 100. And then, of course, yes, you
Yeah.
can come back in.
We usually start with 100, but quickly it drops off, and there's usually in the 90s for the rest of the show. So there's usually time to come back in. We'll just kick Jim off if it comes out to 100 and we need one more
Or-
person on. We'll just delete Jim.
Yeah, yeah.
Or just grab Jim's microphone.
I can just take him out. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're both in the RV then? You're both doing the right from inside?
I'm in the back of the
He's
RV.
in studio A, I'm in studio B.
Oh, great. Great.
And I don't know if you can, and there's out the back window.
Mm.
You might, it's too bright, but there's donkeys back there. My friend whose house this is, whose property we're at, has donkeys and chickens, and it's fun to stay here.
Yes, indeed. Well, that's cool. Yeah. You should make a travel video of your when you're, do you do that when you're traveling and sort of, this is us getting out of the van and da 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 da. You should do shorts. This is the big thing that's coming up. I don't know if you've done any. Bob did a YouTube short the other day. Have you looked into, are you going to do some shorts?
I've done a couple, the tutorial ones.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
You ought to take photos when you're out on the road too.
Oh, well, darn, I never thought of that.
yeah.
What's
lot
for
of
most
photos
of us, those
nowadays.
shorts are not good for doing tutorials because you just don't have enough time if it's got to be under a minute.
Right.
For those of the people who don't know, YouTube is competing with TikTok, and is bringing out what we call YouTube. They're going to call YouTube Shorts, and this is just being released. I can't do it in Canada yet, but the ability to create it's an under 60-second video, and this will be under the hashtag Shorts, and they're going to monetize it in a different way. And there'll probably be some ads, and they haven't figured all that out yet. But bottom line is, Bob, the video, did you watch the video I sent you this morning
Yes.
on the shorts? They've already
Yeah.
got like 2 trillion shorts have been created. Like this is,
Well,
and it's only been going for 6 months. It's like
Currently
crazy.
available only in India and the US.
Yeah,
And it was
yeah.
released first in India. And,
Yeah.
anything you release in India is going to be in the millions the second you release it.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, you just, and there's a whole, and I'm thinking going around through the day and thinking, well, that's a cool, like we had I was talking to Chris, I think, about this the other day, is on the coffee bag that I got from Costco, there's a QR code on it. You scan the QR code and you can see when the coffee was made, who distributed it, how it was roasted, all the information off that particular bag on the QR code. And I thought, well, that's really interesting. And I thought that'd be a little short you could make, how this worked and da 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 da. And so, yeah, as you go through the day, you think that could be a short, that could be a short. So maybe, and you just do it all with your cell phone, right?
Right. Yeah. I did a short on showing your Google Photos on your big screen TV. I stood in front of the big screen TV where you could see my photos going, and I did a little short on that. But
Rose bush that we have outside, so which is now in full bloom. But that's, this is a little, not anything really useful, not yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Is
But it's
TikTok
short.
useful? Does anybody? It's just just fun, isn't it?
They want it as entertainment, not as a
Yes.
learning tool.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you can get up and dance, that's going to be entertaining. That's what a lot of them do. The kids do.
Dance, sing.
You don't want me to sing.
We have stories.
I have video of my singing, and it's good for blackmail, and that's
Chris, we should do a duet. We'd really kill them off.
oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, you should do it on Duck, Duck, Go, Go.
Yeah, no one can find it. Yes, indeed.
I
What do we
see
got? 5 minutes? We got our streaming
Yeah,
going, and we have a bunch of
Carl, yeah.
people over streaming. And
Carl's hands up.
Carl, go ahead.
Hey, Ron and others, I wondered when I connect to a Zoom meeting, not yours, when I set mine up to act, well, let me back up and go and start with your group. When I started, I set up my calendar so it recurs every week. So when I go in, like today, I just click on the link. It's there from the real original time I set up, whenever it was last fall. But when I go to other Zoom meetings, I'll click on the link. They'll send the link because it's not a recurring kind of thing like yours. And when I click on it and I want to add the Zoom to my calendar, which is Google, it will do it. But then I'll get a pop-up from Google or Zoom actually saying that, I'm giving access to Zoom and there's a security issue. And then I get pop-ups, I think, from maybe Google or somebody saying, I've given Zoom connectivity to all my contacts. So I don't know how to put it on the calendar without getting those warnings.
You have to grant that permission. Without it, it will not add to your Google Calendar.
Right. And that's a
Okay.
security issue. That's a security issue that Google implemented a number of years ago to prevent apps from adding things to your calendar that you don't know about. For example, many apps that you download on your phone or whatever often want access to contacts in your calendar and all that sort of stuff. So Google says, okay, before we give you access to anything, you have to approve it. Now, you obviously want Zoom to put that in your calendar, right? I mean, that's what you want.
Right.
So you say, yes, I grant access to that. Okay. Which is perfectly normal. But, if you downloaded a, find me cheap beer app or something that, and they wanted access to all your contacts and put something on your calendar, you'd say no, right? So that's the thing. The other thing that you should remember is that in our meeting, the link for our Zoom meeting stays the same. All right, it's the same. It'll be forever. It'll never change. Whereas some people who have meetings change their Zoom meeting each time they create a Zoom, right? So that's why it works. Our meeting works for you, but it doesn't on some other meetings because they may change the link all the time, and so that occurs, and that's just how it works.
Thank you, Ron and Bob. I suspected what you said, Bob, was going on, but I was just curious if there was a way around it. Although I was afraid, like
there
you
isn't.
said, Ron, it's a security issue.
Right.
It was interesting. I was listening to Leo Laporte about a couple of years ago, and there was this app someone developed in Arizona for cheap beer. And it was great. He went around and he found all the cheap beer, and you had the app on your phone, and you could just hit the app and it told you where the cheap beer was to go and buy it, right? And I thought, what a great idea. So I downloaded the app, and as I was installing it, I looked at the permissions it wanted. And it wanted permissions for everything, including all my contacts, my email, my second born kid. It wanted to own everything for this stupid beer app. And so I didn't install it, so you have to be careful on these apps on what they want. And what Google has done, particularly on their Android phones and also within Chrome, is they're saying, okay, you have to be aware that this is happening, and you can say no, right? And that's what is more evident now than it was in past. We got 1 minute left, and then we will be getting going. Jim,
I have two-factor.
Go
I
ahead.
have two-factor authentication set up for Google. So when I add something from a Zoom meeting to my calendar, not only do I have to approve it in one place, but I also get the notification. And on that notification, there's a little checkbox that says, remember, only it doesn't remember, because every single time I have to again approve it. So even the remember doesn't work.
All right, I'm going
And
to.
that's been the way for a while.
Yeah.
Right.
So Jim, I'm going to try and do better today with our intro. I'm going to try and go right into our intro. Jim says I got to polish my intro up here, and I'm going to see if I can do my Zoom right into the intro. So I'll make this a little bit better. So we're going.
And then, yeah.
So
Good.
we'll try that and see. Let's see if I can. The problem is I can't. It doesn't show. Just a minute here. It doesn't, that's weird. All right, well, we'll try it this way then. Oops. Stop share. Well, that's share with sound. There we go. Tech for Seniors, episode 60, May the 17th, 2021. We have about 95 people in the show today, and we have a whole bunch more people over on the streaming service. Thanks so much for everybody coming today. We do appreciate it. As I said before, our show keeps going on your enthusiasm. So thank you so much for coming. We have a big show for you today. We have, of course, Chris Gould from Geeks on Tour, and Jim is here as well. And we're going to have a great show for you today. So thank you for coming. As you know, we have two services running right now. We have our Zoom meeting, which 95 of you are in, and thank you to everyone for coming. We also have our YouTube live streaming over on YouTube now, and the shows are a little bit different. We have, of course, on the streaming side, the show will go for about 50 minutes. Just before the music interlude with Ray's segment, then we will end the broadcast and also for the Q&A. But for those of you who are in the Zoom meeting, of course, this goes on for an hour, and at the top of the hour, we will have our Q&A, which usually goes on for about 20 minutes. Now, for those of you who missed the show, you're obviously not here, but we record these. And so it is recorded, and you can play these back. So we should have that done by the end of the day. So also last week, I was unbelievably blown away. I could not believe what happened. We came up with a funding request and buy me a cup of coffee. And this was, and so we thought, well, we'll try it and see, because we have to raise about $800 to cover the costs of operating the show. And unbelievable. I could not believe it. We have raised, we've raised 60% of our goal in 2 days. Like, thank you so much. I could not believe it. We have $460 out of our $800. I cannot.
Dryer. All right, thank you. I can do it if you want.
Let me just make sure we mute all. But yes, I want to thank so much. I mean, that was unbelievable. We really had an amazing response to it. Hugh and I talked about what we were going to do, and I think it's only appropriate to thank people. I'm just going to take a brief minute, and I'm going to take 10 of we had about 35 people who have, of course, donated. And Hugh and I have taken 10 names from each, and he's going to do 10, and I'm going to do 10. I just want to quickly run through the names. Sorry if I don't spell them correctly. If you gave a donation and you didn't put your whole name in, or you gave it anonymously, we don't know who you are. So I just want to thank I'm going to thank 10 people. Huey's going to thank 10 people. And then we will have, next week, we'll do another 10 and another 10 until we get all the thank yous done. So I'd like to thank Tony Pisa, Irving, Detlef, Pat Auken, Mike Seacrest, Jeff, Dick Vogel, Charles Harchin, Jonathan, and OKC, and Eric Noyes. Thank you so much for your donations. And Hewie Hugh's going to do his 10 in a few minutes. Now, for those of you who are interested in searching and finding out some of the things that we've done in the past, we now have the searchable links. We're going to talk more about this next week on our website and also in our newsletter. If you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, please do so, because it will have all the up-to-date information for you. Introducing our staff today, Hewie,
I'm here.
Are you?
I'm here.
Yeah, how's your week? You got a busy week coming up.
Yeah, Thursday especially. I think I got four Zoom meetings.
What are we doing on Thursday? What's going on Thursday?
Well, we got the Tech for Seniors live, and then we have learning Chromebooks, and then I have one presentation and one that I help with Q&A on. So I got 4 on Thursday.
Wow. So Michael Daniels is going to be, hey, everyone cheer. Yay, Michael Daniels is going to be on our show on Thursday. For those of you who don't know Michael, he's a great guy, and he's just he's going to be so much fun. I'm looking forward to this, to get Michael for an hour, and we're just going to talk tech. And then
just to interrupt you first, though, Michael is Ron and I, he's our go-to person when we don't know the answer to something. So
don't tell him that. Don't tell him that. We don't know the answer. Don't say that.
Oh, okay. When we're not sure which one of the answers to use, he guides us to the right one.
and then I've got even better news not even better news, but for next week. Do you guys know who I've lined up for the following week?
Oh, tell us. Do tell.
Drum roll. Heather Crafter's going to come on.
Oh, great.
Yeah, Heather is the co-host with Michael Daniels, and she is a great person. And Heather said, I'd love to do it. So I said, that's great. So we're going to have Heather on the following week. So it should be lots of fun.
She does a crafting show, correct?
Yeah. She's going to talk all about her crafting show, and we'll talk our tech stuff. And yeah, it should be great. So if you guys haven't seen our Thursday show, or you haven't watched it, we just have a lot of fun. It's just off the cuff, right? So it's a lot of fun. Hewie, did you want to mention those thank yous before we
my list of thank yous? And if apparently some people have, since we put this list together, some new people have added to the coffee. So their names will not be on here, but we want to thank you as well, and we'll do that probably next week. But Bob G, Geeks on Tour, Joel Sandberg, Donna, who didn't give her last name, but that's okay, Jim Tallman, Herman Lippold, Susan Cashmore, John Roy, Jenny Garrick, and Ron Metler. Thank you so much for buying us cups of coffee.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. And remember, this is not the complete list. So if you haven't heard your name, it's coming. It's coming for sure. Bob, how the heck are you?
Fine. How are you?
Doing great. I'm doing great. How'd your week go?
Busy as always.
I know. And Ray, what's happening down there in Arizona?
Well, I was interested in listening to Hewie there. He may have surpassed my record. I had 4 Zoom meetings in a 24-hour period once, and I thought that was the record, but I think Hewie just passed it. In Arizona, things are going good. I have this monthly music club meeting with friends, and we've been doing it via Zoom for the last year plus. Well, last night we met in person, and it was so much nicer to actually be there with people and spend a couple of hours listening to music and watching some YouTube videos. There's about 7 of us, and we meet every month on like clockwork.
Great. Yes, personal contact is absolutely wonderful.
And
Dewey.
can I announce that
Sure.
Ray has agreed to be on our Geeks on Tour Sunday? What does this button do show this coming Sunday? And we really appreciate that. Love to hear more about music.
Good. I look forward to doing that, and I'll probably be in contact just to make sure we're online together.
Ray's a wonderful speaker and a great person. Thank you. And Dewey, now are you feeling better? We're going to hear all about Dewey in your segment today, but excuse me, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling really great, unbelievable, considering that I was in the ER 2 weeks ago today having a stroke. But anyway, I'll tell you all about it in my presentation.
Okay. Thanks, Dewey. We certainly wish you well, and I'm glad you're doing okay. Bob, are you ready to go?
As soon as you're ready, let me start.
Go ahead.
Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending May 14th, 2021. Colonial Pipeline reopens after ransomware attack. The largest petroleum transport company in the U.S., Colonial Pipeline, has resumed business as usual this week after halting all pipeline operations last Friday when the company was hit by a ransomware attack. Attackers attempted a double extortion scheme by locking the company out of its files and then threatening to publish 100 gigabytes of sensitive Colonial Pipeline data if the company did not pay. According to CNET, CNN, and Reuters, Colonial Pipeline had no intentions of paying the ransom, instead bringing on a security agency to restore their system from their backup servers. There is one main reason for the increase of ransomware, commented Avast security evangelist Louis Carones. Victims are paying, but Colonial Pipeline is setting an example that everyone should follow, as these attacks are only profitable if the victims are willing to pay. The fact that the company is back on its feet in just a few days also shows that they had proper backup policies which had enabled them to get back to business rapidly. Bloomberg is reporting that Colonial Pipeline had to pay a nearly $5 million ransom to get there, and it paid that ransom within mere hours. The Wall Street Journal sources have now also confirmed that Colonial Pipeline paid the ransom. It would be nice if all news sources actually reported facts. Ransomware crooks post cops' psych evaluation after talks with DC police stall. A ransomware gang that hacked the District of Columbia's Metropolitan Police Department in April posted personal records on Tuesday that revealed highly sensitive details for almost 24 officers, including the results of psychological assessments and polygraph tests, driver's license images, fingerprints, social security numbers, dates of birth, and residential, financial, and marriage histories. Ransomware crooks threaten to ID informants if cops don't pay up. The data included a 161 megabyte download from a website on the dark web, was made available after negotiations broke down between members Babook ransomware group and MPD officials. A post on the hacker's website said the negotiations reached a dead end. The amount we were offered does not suit us. We are posting 20 more personal files on officers. The 161 megabyte file was password protected. The operators later published the passphrase after MPD officials refused to raise the price the department was willing to pay. The ransomware attack on the MPD has no known connection to the one that has hit Colonial Pipeline. Read more on Ars Technica. Clubhouse app launches on Android. More than a year after its initial launch, which was limited to Apple devices, the audio-only social media app Clubhouse is now available to Android users as well. The company welcomed Android users on their blog, informing them that Clubhouse for Android will roll out in beta immediately in the US, followed by other English-speaking countries, then the rest of the world. BBC News speculated on the potential obsolescence of the app, seeing as Facebook is mimicking its features with Hotline and Twitter is doing the same with Spaces. Learn more about Clubhouse with our deep dive into the trendy app and understand the risks involved with the data scraping that occurs across almost all social media platforms, Clubhouse included. Domestic abuse cases increasingly involve tech. According to The Guardian, the amount of domestic abuse cases in the UK involving tech has skyrocketed, jumping 97% since the pandemic started. Abusers have found they can monitor and control their partners using a range of tech tools. Many abusers employ stalkerware, and not coincidentally, Avast detected a 93% increase in the use of stalkerware through 2020. Victims support charity Refuge launched a new website in response to the growing number of cases, offering resources to victims, including a simple animated video explaining what tech abuse is. Refuge also provides the tech support victims needed to extract themselves from such situations. Unfortunately, the amount of domestic abuse is just as rampant here in the US. Amazon destroyed 2 million counterfeit products in 2020. In its first ever brand protection report, Amazon expounded on the tools it provides its sellers to verify and protect their brands, as well as how it takes counterfeiters to task. In 2020, Amazon reports it seized and destroyed more than 2 million counterfeit products sent to its fulfillment centers. In addition, its verification process stopped over 6 million attempts to create a selling account before listing a sale, a sharp rise from 2019's 2.5 million attempts. Despite the pandemic's apparent increase in fraudulent activity, Amazon reports that fewer than 0.01% of all products sold on their site received a counterfeit complaint from customers. What are frag attacks? A new series of attacks against almost every Wi-Fi router has been posted called frag attacks. Anyone who can receive radio signals from your router or Wi-Fi hotspot can use these vulnerabilities and steal data from your devices. The issue is the design of the Wi-Fi protocols themselves, along with programming errors to certain Wi-Fi devices. Some products have multiple issues, and a dozen different CVEs have been posted that document them. The vulnerabilities were discovered by Martin van Hoof, who will be back teaching in the fall at KU Leuven University in Belgium, and has worked with a team at New York University and Abu Dhabi. The group tested more than 75 different devices and discovered flaws in Wi-Fi protocols going back to the turn of the millennium. He will present papers at various information security conferences this summer. His presentation on Usenix is already available. The good news is that the protocol design flaws aren't easy to take advantage of, and there hasn't been any evidence that any attackers has actually exploited these flaws, at least not yet. The bad news is that the programming errors are almost trivial to exploit. Lifehacker says that the vulnerabilities are thankfully obscure enough and require just enough of a physical presence that you should be fine if you're staying on top of your security and updates, which you should be doing anyway. Here's what your Ring doorbell knows about you. Ring is, first and foremost, a surveillance tool. It's marketed as helping you surveil your surroundings. But don't forget that it's keeping track of you and your family as well. Ring and Amazon, its parent company, knows your name, email, postal address, and phone number. It also knows the geolocation of your phone, information about your Wi-Fi network and signal strengths, and your product model, serial number, and software version. If you use Facebook or other third-party login, it also can obtain information from that third party. And of course, if you go to their website, it also tracks with cookies, web server logs, web beacons, and other technologies. According to their privacy policy, and information gathered on their site or social media may be used for advertising. Finally, Ring videos and photos are stored on Amazon's servers for up to 60 days. Ring uses your data to provide the services you've paid for. In other words, a video doorbell, and while they don't sell your data, they do say in their privacy policy that they might share it with service providers who perform services for them, including marketing. In other words, your data is likely shared with data aggregators in order to serve you ads. Additionally, we all know that Amazon loves to get their hands on as much information about customers as possible, which means Ring data goes into the big aggregate pool Amazon has on you. Amazon will share information captured by your Ring with law enforcement when they're compelled to do so. They also have created partnerships with law enforcement agencies across the US, allowing Ring customers to sign up to share their surveillance footage with the police. And they often offer rebates to incentivize people to sign up for this registry. Ring overtly collects a lot of information, but there are things they could figure out based on the content of your videos and photos. Things like when you're home, how many packages you get, information about your neighborhood and neighbors, and so on. There are also reports that Amazon is testing out facial recognition technology on their Ring cameras, which opens a whole other can of scary privacy concerns, especially when you take Amazon's police partnership into account. Remember that using or not using the Ring doorbell is entirely up to you. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News. Stay safe, stay secure. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you, Bob. That was interesting about Amazon and how many products they're destroying, eh? Interesting. I don't think I've ever got a counterfeit thing on buying Amazon. I mean, the truck stops daily at my house. It really does, but I don't think I ever got anything counterfeit. But you know, who knows, right? All right, our next segment is going to be, of course, Chris Gould from Geeks on Tour. Now, the talk today, we really wanted to talk about the changes that are occurring, excuse me, on June 1st for Google Photos. Chris, did you have anything you want to say before we start your pre-recorded segment?
Yeah, a couple things. First of all, hello, everybody. In case you don't know me, I'm Chris Gould, and it's with Geeks on Tour, along with my husband, Jim, and we are in our little RV right now, coming to you connected to our hotspot. The video that Ron is going to play for you in a minute is all about, and it's important stuff about what happens on June 1 and what to do on your computer. But I realize that some people haven't checked that their phone is doing what it's supposed to. So I have just a couple of little messages that I'm putting into the chat. So if you use Google Photos and you have your phone with you, I want you to open the app on your phone and check to see that everything has been uploaded. I also want you to check to see that everything that your setting for your phone uploads is set to high quality. And I have put little instructions on that in the chat. And so with that, go ahead with the video. And if you want, you can probably stop the video at 17 minutes, you know, when I go into alternatives to Google Photos, if you need the time.
Okay, yeah, that'd be fine. And then, of course, you're going to be around in the Q&A session for questions.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I didn't say I am a Google Photos expert for those of you who don't. And I wrote a book on Google Photos. So that's why I'm here.
And where may they find the book? How would they purchase your book?
Amazon.
Okay. Okay, let's share the screen.
Hi. I'll bet you've been hearing the news about how Google Photos will be free no more. I'm here to tell you that it's not that big of a deal, and we are going to give you the facts. Exactly what is changing on June 1? What, if anything, do you need to do? And what else is changing? I'm Chris.
And I'm Jim.
And we are Geeks on Tour.
And we can prove that we're geeks because we wear these funny hats. And another word for a geek is a propeller head.
Okay, but we are geeks who teach, and Google Photos is a real specialty of ours. I am a product expert designated by Google, and I wrote a book on Google Photos called Learn Google Photos, and it's available at Amazon. But let's get right into this issue of what's changing on June 1. The bad news is that free unlimited storage for high quality photos and videos is coming to an end. That is a drag. It's been really nice to have unlimited free storage, but there's good news. All the content uploaded in high quality before June 1 is stored for free, and it will be continued to store for free after June 1. So the only thing that changes is what you upload after June 1. Here's all the details. Every Google account is given 15 gigabytes of free storage that's shared between Google Photos, Gmail, and Google Drive. In Google Photos, you have the option of uploading in high quality or original quality. High quality is compressed and takes up less space. We think it's a great way to go. Right now, before June 1, 2021, if you upload in high quality, it just doesn't count. It's zero storage against your 15 gigabytes allotment. After June 1, that's what changes. Newly uploaded high quality content will count against your allotment. But not everybody.
Yeah, I have the Pixel phone. It's a Pixel 4 XL, and I get high quality, and that won't change after June 1st, right?
Right, yours still will not count. You are exempt.
Okay.
Because as long as you are using your Pixel phone, high quality will remain at no charge. So get the details for your account. If you go to photos.google.com and click on the gear for settings, you should see this update that has a link to learn more. And if you click there, you will see information specific to your account, that your existing photos and videos won't be affected. And based on your usage, you'll see an estimate there of how long your 15 gigabytes will even last. This particular user, it's estimated that the 15 gigabytes will last for 4 years based on their current usage patterns. So what do you need to do? First of all, don't panic. Listen to our friend here, Helpful Harry.
Relax, calm down now. Don't stress. Take it
Take it easy, don't panic. You don't need to do anything. Everything that is in place on May 31st will be the same on June 1. It's only newly uploaded photos that change. All content you have stored for free on June 1 will be stored for free on June 2 and beyond. You still have the 15 gigabytes of free storage too. If you want to take advantage of more free storage before June 1, I have two things for you to do. Number one, upload all those pictures that you've been putting off. Upload everything you can think of in high quality, and they will be stored for free forever. Number two, recover storage, and I will explain what that means. You should be at zero. Google Photos should be at zero storage used on June 1. So uploading everything, what do I mean? I mean uploading all the photos and videos on your computer. If you haven't done it yet and you have thousands of photos on your computer, this is the time. How about old USB drives or CDs? Maybe even digitize old slides and prints and VCR tapes. But primarily I'm talking about all those digital photos that are on your computer. And there's two main types of ways to do that, manual and automatic. On the manual, I think the manual is best because you have more control. You can either start at Google Photos and use the upload button. I call that the pull method. You start at the destination and you go get the photos. Or you can start at your computer files and use drag and drop, push them. And I want to do a little demo of this. So we're going to go to my computer. I have a hard drive here and I have lots of photos on this. I've already uploaded them, but I'm just going to show you one example of a folder on the hard drive that I am going to import to my Google Photos. So I go to, this is the pull method. I go to photos.google.com and I click on this little upload button. And I'm going to upload from my computer. I navigate to that hard drive. And I have this photo called Photos from Friends. And it's this one here, Martin Ham Radio. There's about a dozen photos in here. I could just select one or two, but Control A will select them all, or that would be a Command A on a Mac. And then I click open. And they start uploading to my Google Photos. 12 pictures. The beauty of doing the manual method is when it's done, I get the option to add to an album. And I'm just going to call this new album a demo album. A demo uploads and check mark. The second way is to push. So here I have a thumb drive. Let's say somebody gave me this thumb drive and says, here are the pictures you wanted. How do I get them into my Google Photos? Well, first I will connect the thumb drive to the computer. And something pops up that offers to copy pictures from that thumb drive to my computer. I don't want that. I don't want these on my computer. I want to get them straight from the thumb drive up to Google Photos. I'm going to do that using the files and folders and my push method, drag and drop. So I open Windows Files and Folders. That would be the Finder on Macintosh. And I find that thumb drive, the USB drive right there. And here is the folder of pictures that I want to upload to Google Photos, just this one called Panoramio. I need to get my Google Photos appearing on the same screen here. So do you see what I did there? My files is in this window, but behind here is my Google Photos. So I can just drag and drop the whole folder. Notice I dragged and dropped it right into the album called Demo Upload. So now those 3 photos from Panorama are part of the album that I just made with the previous upload. That is what I mean by having control. Okay, so that's the manual method of uploading pictures, either with the pull method or the push. But what if you have thousands of pictures in maybe hundreds of folders? That would just be too much work. So for that, you do need a piece of software called Backup and Sync. And so you need Google Backup and Sync. That's what it looks like. It's that little blue icon with the cloud and the up arrow. You get it at photos.google.com/apps. And I'm going to show you how. So here I am at my Google Photos, and it's still under this upload. And instead of from computer or from Google Drive, I'm going to get the Backup and Sync software. And notice where it takes me, photos.google.com/apps, and download. Save. You know the drill for downloading and installing software. Once it's done, I open it. Say yes. And here we are. Get started. You have to log into your account that you want to use here. This is where your photos will be uploaded to. They'll be uploaded to this account. Once you've logged in, then you have to follow the steps for setting it up. Do you want to back up photos and videos or all file types? The odd thing to understand is that this software is actually a Google Drive utility. So it's going to back up to Google Drive regardless. If you want photos backed up to Google Photos, you make sure to select that option. And next. Now here's the important part. Where are the photos that you want backed up? Mine are not on the desktop. They are not in documents. They are in pictures on my computer. They're also on my external hard drive. So I use this choose folder to specify that. Make sure to select high quality. That is what will get you free storage before June 1 and reduced storage after June 1. And when you click start, they'll start going. This might take several days depending on how many photos you have, and you'll need to check on it once in a while, make sure that your computer stays on and it is working. Once it's going, you will see this little cloud icon with the swirling arrows in the lower right-hand corner. That is your Google Backup and Sync software. So that was the Backup and Sync software that will get all of your photos from your computer automatically, but you will not have any albums. It just grabs all the photos out of your folders, puts them into Google Photos in one giant stream by date. All of this comes from my book, Learn Google Photos. Chapter 3 is all about collecting the rest of your life's photos and videos. The second thing that you should do before June 1, if you want to take advantage of the free storage, is what's called Recover Storage. Hi, this is Chris Gould with Geeks on Tour and Learn Google Photos, and this video is about how to recover storage from your Google Cloud storage allotment. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If you go to one.google.com, that is where you will see the storage that you are using with Google. You click right here where it says storage, and you get 15 gigabytes of free storage, but it is shared by Google Drive, Gmail, and Google Photos. Now this says that Google Photos is using 0.32 gigabytes, but if you use high quality before June 1, 2020, 2021, this should be at 0. So how do we recover that third of a gigabyte? Well, if you go to Google Photos and click on the gear wheel, the settings icon, you should see recover storage. Notice it says high quality here, but since there is some storage being used at some point in time, some photos must have gotten uploaded in original size, but you can retroactively compress those by clicking recover storage. So recover 331 megabytes by compressing. Yes, compress. May take over an hour. All right, I just click compress and then we wait. So I don't know how long that took because I just left it overnight, but here I am back at one.google.com, logged in as the same account. And if I click on storage, it now says that Google Photos is taking 0 gigabytes. This is what you want before June 21, 2021. What if you don't have a button that says recover storage? I'm in Jim's account now. I click on the little gear, and where it said recover storage, it now says manage subscription. Let me explain. Here in Google One for his account, it says you've got 104 gigabytes of storage. That means that he's paying for the extra storage, but he still wants Google Photos to be taking up 0 space, and right now it's at 6.46 gigabytes. So how do we recover that? Back to Google Photos, and in the gear, all he has to do is click on high quality, and it will prompt him to recover 6.5 gigabytes of Google account storage. If yours was already on high quality, then just click original and click high quality, and you will get that prompt as well. If you want to take advantage of the free storage, upload everything now and make sure to run that recover storage procedure before June 1. Now, how much does it cost? The pricing for Google Photos is just not bad at all, I don't think. $2 a month or $20 a year for 100 gigabytes, and then $3 or $30 a year for 200. 2 terabytes, which I would consider to be unlimited, is just $100 a year, $10 a month. Nothing else can beat that and have all the features that Google Photos has. If you don't believe me and you still want to have alternatives, here are the ones that are at all close: Flickr, Amazon Prime, and Microsoft OneDrive. But as I say, Google Photos is the only one that was built from the ground up to be your one home for your lifetime of photos. Microsoft is built to be a file storage, an online file storage. Amazon Prime is probably the closest thing to Google Photos, but it still doesn't have near the features, and you have to be a Prime member, and you still don't get video storage for anything less than 5 gigabytes. Still want to quit? You still don't believe me and you want to quit, and some people are. I don't think it's right, but if you are going to quit, make sure that you have all your photos and videos from your Google Photos account somewhere else. And Google's option for doing that is called takeout.com. You can either download everything to your computer, or you can transfer to Flickr, OneDrive, or SmugMug. Those are kind of in beta though right now, but it's worth a shot. What else is going to be changing? I actually think Google Photos is going to continue to improve now that they are on this freemium model, meaning you have the free tier, completely free for up to 15 gigabytes, but if you choose to pay for more storage, you become a Google One member. And Google One members get lots of perks. They get phone support. You actually get support with Google just by the $2 a month to makes you a Google One member. And I'm starting to see new features, new editing features, for example, on my Android phone that are only for Google One members. So it's going to keep getting better. Google Photos is still the best, and it's going to keep getting better.
And we agree. Okay. That's it for us. I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
We're Geeks on Tour.
Well, thanks, Chris. That was great. I have a whole bunch of questions for you, but we'll wait until the question and answer part. But well done. Excellent. I'm going to now go ahead and I'm going to reshare my screen, and we're going to play Dewey's segment. Dewey has prepared something for us today. Thank you, Dewey. Let me share my screen again, and we will share it. And we'll come up with Dewey.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dewey, and my Tech Talk topic for today is different stroke symptoms for different folks. Monday, May 3rd's TFS episode number 58 was the first one I'd ever missed since they began in 2020, April of 2020. When I climbed out of bed that morning, I discovered that my basic balance and equilibrium had taken a nasty hit during the night. Later, when Joanne got up, she quickly noticed that my speech was slightly slurred and my walking was very labored and difficult. I was limping because of a lame left foot. An hour later, I arrived at the ER. This was the first of 3 visits to the ER and a total of 5 days of hospitalization that week at our fine North Memorial Regional Stroke Center. The initial diagnosis suggested that I had had a TIA. Now, TIA is the acronym for transient ischemic attack. Transient implies that it's brief. Ischemic means that it's caused by the narrowing or blockage of a blood vessel supplying the brain. However, my symptoms, significant weakness on my left side and slurred speech, lingered on and were anything but transient. Symptoms for a TIA are the same as for a stroke. That's important to remember. And they may include weakness, numbness, or paralysis on one side of your body, slurred speech, blindness in one or both eyes, and dizziness. Physical tests include being able to smile, stick your tongue directly out, tightly squeeze the tester's fingers with your weak hand, and from a sitting position, being able to extend each foot straight out and hold it steady for 10 seconds. I easily passed all tests. Though my left side and speech symptoms continued, neurologists were puzzled after a myriad of brain scans, CAT scans, MRIs, and an echocardiogram, there was no evidence that a stroke had occurred very recently. Finally, on the 4th day, that was, I guess, my 3rd visit to the ER, a very deep brain scan showed sufficient evidence that I indeed had had an ischemic stroke. In my opinion, it was a relatively mild stroke, thankfully. Yet my symptoms were still coming and going, or waxing and waning, quoting the neurologist. According to stroke.org, an ischemic stroke is the most common type of stroke and occurs about 85% of the time. A hemorrhagic stroke, which is often called a brain bleed, is more dangerous, but 8 times less frequent. TIAs, as described earlier, do not cause permanent damage, but should be considered very strongly as a warning sign. About 1 in 3 people who have a TIA will eventually have a stroke. I guess that includes me, with about half of these strokes occurring within a year after the TIA. I'm sure that most of you have already educated yourself, and I certainly hope so, on the warning signs of a stroke by remembering FAST. F is for face drooping. Does one side of your face droop, or is it numb? Can you smile? Can you stick out your tongue? Now, A is for arm weakness. Is one arm weak or numb? Try to raise both arms with eyes closed. Does one drift lower? By the way, I never had a numb arm, and I had troubles with my left arm because I had previously blown my rotator cuff, so that was another issue. S is for speech difficulty. Is your speech slurred and hard to understand? Can you repeat a simple phrase? Also, can you stick out your tongue or stick your tongue straight out? If your tongue uncontrollably goes to one side, a stroke is quite probably in process and in progress. I can stick out my tongue. T is for time to call 911. If there are definite symptoms, call 911 immediately. Trained professionals can provide medical help sooner than you being taken to the ER. I confess to having made that mistake. I was kind of stubborn. It's often said that no two strokes are alike. It's also said that early strong efforts and therapy to regain mobility and function are usually well recorded, and I have found that true. Finally, I'm pleased to report that when I woke up today, Sunday, May 16, my left arm and leg are way, way much better than yesterday. Could barely move them yesterday. You may, however, judge if I'm still having speech problems. Well, that's my Tech Talk story for today, and I'm going to stick with it. I want you all to have a great day and stay safe in every way. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And remember FAST, right, Dewey?
Right. Absolutely right.
Thank you so much. Now, Hewie, are you ready to roll?
I am. And what I'm going to be talking about today is some toys that I have that you may not have. Let's take a look. Today, I'm going to be talking about some new IoT items in my house. I'm Hewie Poplock. The items I'm going to be talking about are a smart power strip and a smart microwave oven. This is a smart power strip that I purchased last summer. It cost about $27. It's no longer available, but there are other ones very similar to it that are. During my talk and demonstration, I will be using the term Miss A instead of the actual device name, so I don't set off your device if you happen to have one. This is my IoT power strip. There's several ways I can turn it on and off. I can do it the entire strip by saying Miss A, power strip off. Miss A, power strip on. Miss A, power plug 3 off. Miss A, power plug 3 on. So I can do individual plugs. Now there's USB plugs, but they will only turn on and off all 4 at one time or turn them on at one time. Miss A, Echo power plug USB off. Miss A, power plug USB on. Obviously, I've set it up so I can turn this on and off using my dot or my other Miss A. This is the microwave oven that I purchased just last week. It is a smart microwave. It's countertop. There were certain criteria that I used to purchase it. I'm not saying that this is the one that you should buy. It only fit my needs and my purposes. And what I want to show you is some of the functions that it can do using the Amazon device that I use for home automation. So let's take a look. This is our new Toshiba microwave oven, which is an Internet of Things capable microwave oven. And I want to show you a couple examples of that. Miss A, 30 seconds on the microwave.
30 seconds.
Miss A, add 10 seconds to the microwave. We can also have special settings for different foods. For instance, Miss A, microwave for 1 minute on power 2.
1 minute on power level 2.
Miss A, microwave 1 potato.
Starting potato.
Miss A, stop the microwave. Miss A, microwave potato.
How many do you want to cook?
1.
Starting potato.
Miss A, stop microwave. Miss A, defrost 1 pound.
Defrosting 1 pound.
Miss A, stop microwave. Miss A, microwave bacon.
How many do you want to cook?
2.
Okay, starting now.
Miss A, pause microwave. Miss A, resume microwave.
Resuming.
Miss A, stop microwave. Miss A, reheat cup of coffee.
What's the volume of coffee?
1 cup.
Reheating 1 cup of coffee.
Miss A, stop microwave. Thank you for joining. I'm Hewie Poplock. You'll notice that I had a bowl in there, and that in the bowl was some water, because you can't run a microwave with nothing in it. It's not good for it. And yeah, it was it's an experience. Of course, you can still push the buttons and on the control panel and do it manually if you want, but you can have Miss A do some of the things for you.
Oh, okay. I've got my credit card out. All right. Listen, thank you. Ray, are you getting ready?
Yes, sir.
I want to thank everyone over on our streaming service for coming. Thank you so much. We will see you again next week, same time.